Excellent, excellent, excellent. Welcome, each and every one of you guys. What's going on, Rebecca, Sunshine, Coach Catherine, Deidre Wells? How's everybody doing? Coach AB, welcome. I want to welcome each and every one of you guys who logged into today's call, guys. This is our Sunday night vision mastery call. And of course, we do this call each and every Sunday night as a way that we can continually grow in personal development, getting ourselves into a space mentally that we can actually overcome all of these self-imposed limitations that tend to show up in our lives that stop us from reaching our personal goals. Now, one of the things that, guys, that I want to make sure that tonight that we talk about, because as I mentioned before, I have a coaching program that I work with people, right? And I coach and I mentor people all around the world. And one of the things that I have when I'm working with people, not in a network marketing space, but in a life space, business space, whether I'm focusing on life or business or personal coaching. When I'm working with people, one of the things that I understand and understood is that there's cycles that people go through. And so when I'm coaching and I'm working with people, I'm always focusing in on a 90-day master cycle that I work with people on, right? And because this Sunday Night Vision Mastery Call is a part of that process of personal growth and personal development, I want to talk to you guys about what I cover in my like in month two. Even though it's 90 days, I have several, like month to month, I work with a person, right? And I work with them 1 month on the first thing that I talk about. Then the second month, I go into the second thing that I talk about. And I covered some things with you guys a few weeks ago when I was talking about make sure, guys, you are letting people into the group. Let me make sure that I make you guys the co-hosts. Again, I made several of you guys the co-hosts to help me. So when they pop up at the top of the screen, as you guys know, a person that has challenges, like if some of you guys may not have people in your family like that have challenges with ADHD, that means if something pops up in your eyes, your eye gate, you tend to incorporate it in the moment. Even though you try your best, Rebecca, not to talk about it, not to mention it, if you see it, it starts sliding in. So when I see those things show up, I'm like, remove it from my eye gate so I don't actually start to be distracted. So guys, please make sure you add them in, right? So part of my 90-day master cycle, the first thing I talk about, I tell you, the first month I talk about discovery. And in discovery, as we talked a couple of weeks ago, I go through this thing where I start to help people reveal some things to themselves. Take some notes on this because as I go into the second phase, I want you guys to get ready, right? So again, we covered discovery and we talked about revealing. In those things of revealing, I talked about identity and I talked about awareness, and that was one of the training calls that we did a couple of weeks ago. Now tonight, I want to have a conversation with you guys about something else that's really important, that's still attached to that, but it's really important. And this report is important in such a way you understand that reflection. All right, write this down. Reflection is part of my second month, but I want to talk to you guys about that today. When I used to, at one point, like everybody, I was rapping, right? And I had different songs that I would rap about. A lot of times I rap about, I was a different type of rapper when I was rapping because even though I was around a bunch of guys and they like to talk about things that was going on in the streets, I talked about things of possibility and hope. And sometimes I was like an outcast amongst my group of people, my peers, because of how I always I wanted things to be uplifting. Even though I know where things came from and how it could be bleak, I always wanted things to be uplifting. So I always talked about how we could uplift ourselves and be uplifting to people, and those things was important to me. So even one of the things that we did, we used to sample songs, and when we sample songs, they may take us, and today they still do it sometimes. Today they may sample old songs, or they may remix old songs and beats you may have heard when we were growing up. But I remember there was playing. It was a song like "Reflection of the Way Life Used to Be." Type it in the chat, if you guys know who was singing that. It was like reflection of the way life used to be. It was like when they was singing reflections of the way life used to be. Hold on a second, Rebecca. Reflection. Hold on a second. Let me get my damn headset. Y'all think it's a game out here. I was be in the studio like this, right? I was be in the studio, right? Reflection of. And then I would drop my rap. They would do the instrumental, And I would drop my rap, and I was serious about that because for me, reflection was a part of life, was a part of not just going through things day to day or not looking back at your situation and getting upset about it. Exactly right. Sunshine dropping those bars, right? But it's about looking back and reflection. And reflection has to be a part of this process for you because there's two things I want you to think about when you're reflecting, right? One is what, and again, make sure I think somebody's mic is open. Make sure your mic's muted. Please make sure your mic's muted. And do me a favor, under participants, put it where if people are brand new to the call, their mics are automatically muted out. So please, if you can actually add that, I appreciate that. So it's two things: emotional state and presence. Write that down. The first thing we're going to talk about is emotional state, and another thing is presence. And it's important that when you're talking about these things, I want you to really think about reflection of your emotional state and the presence that you're in when you're actually going through emotional state. And one of the things I want to talk about first, let's talk about like the mirror principle. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Let me send one more text message out. Let me send one more text message out. And again, make sure you get people into this call tonight, guys, because I'm hoping that this call may be able to be something to somebody tonight. And let's talk about that mirror principle. Now, when we're in this space of entrepreneurship and business development, we always say that in order to mentor somebody is really about teaching, giving somebody a part of you, a part of life. It's like being you have an apprentice, right? And when people back in the days, the way they used to learn back in the days is that you would be an apprentice to a master. There'll be a master, a person have a mastery in something, and you will be an apprentice. And nowadays you may say a mentor or mentee. But that's how trades were done. That's how new skill sets were learned. Everything that somebody became, it was through apprenticeship, mentorship, menteeship, mastership, or mastering, being a master, and then of course being an apprentice. And all those things were important. And that's how people back in the days, like centuries ago, from centuries on, when they was trying to learn how to be blacksmiths, you would work under another blacksmith, right? If you were a thatcher, that means you actually built roofs and was having to do all these things you learned as an apprentice under someone else who was going through that process. Everything back in the days when people learned things, they learned from their family members or somebody who took them under the wing. And as an entrepreneur, as a person who in this day and age, in this space right now, entrepreneurship should be something that people they think about constantly, that they make it a major thing for themselves and not want to just, and I get it that jobs have been something that once it was created, that it went from people taking ownership and tilling their own land and building their own homes and taking care of their own families and growing their own and doing all. It was a time when that's all we knew was how to maintain. And in the community, everybody did their part and we would trade amongst ourselves and take care of each other. And if you were in that community and you were actually, and the thing about the community, sometimes the community, like many of us, we're not always together in the same city, in the same state, sometimes even in the same country. But we still come together in this space right here, and we teach and we give and we give of ourselves, and we become more of a community together in this space. And back then, people do the same thing. They may have a home here, and you may travel 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 miles before you got to somebody else's land and where they were. But on that till of land that you had to become self-sustaining. You had to make sure that while you were on that till of land, you became everything for yourself and your family in that particular till of land. And when we got together in the community, we all may come together, get the horse and buggies and travel from all these different places to come to where the cities were starting to be built. And that's what a lot of people got a chance. Even though you was taking care of yourself and your family, you became a master of how to put things together and build and create for your family. And then when you came together in the community, you may come and you started doing trade and other things that you'd be able to go to the store. Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys remember, Some of you guys don't know what I'm talking about. You guys may be too young for this thing, but there used to be a show called Little House on the Prairie, right? And that's how it used to be. The Little House on the Prairie was one of those TV shows that was, it was like a young lady who used to take, like, she used to have like a diary and she's telling stories of things that happened when she was a kid and how she was coming up. And and as you watch the television show, what was that, Michael Landon? That's what I was, Rebecca, Michael Landon. You know what I'm saying? When they used to have the show, right? And I remember when they first was building their land, they had their own place, their own land that they were tilling in their particular place. And it may be 3, 4, 5, 10 miles. Well, let me not say 10, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, could be even 10 miles away from it. That's John Boy and them. That's another show right there, Corey. John Boy is another show. All right, but it's still, I'm saying, it's still type of thing, right? And whenever they would actually travel, they would go into the city. And when they went to the little town, the town had the country store. And at the country, then you have other people come in from different places, and they would come there and they could trade at the country store. That's the Waltons that you're talking about, exactly, right? That's what he's talking about. I'm talking Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons, but it was still around the same type of thing, right? I think Little House on the Prairie probably went back, look further. Now, I'll say the story because everybody learned that they had to become self-sustaining. Everybody was putting themselves in a place where all the lessons that I've been teaching you guys how to become self-sustaining. That means, yeah, we come to the town, and we may do a Zoom, or we may do one call for other individuals to come and bring, and people see us all together in that one space. But after the Zoom is done, after all bets are off and nobody's seeing you, what are you doing after that? What are you doing to till your land? What are you doing to make your land fertile? What are you doing in your area? What are you doing as an entrepreneur when nobody's looking? The reasons why, even as an organization, right? Let me say this: when we're growing, I've been in a space where I've been about leadership development. And I've been giving opportunities to people who never done presentations before, because I recognize you got to start someplace. Everybody has to start someplace, somewhere. Every time I started doing presentations, I was bad, and I started getting better as time went on. But I knew I was bad out the gate. I don't know what I was talking about. I was stretching. I was saying numbers and things that probably wasn't even true, but I didn't care. I just knew that at somewhere along the line, someone on the backside can come back. I can do the next one and say, "Hey, I forgot when I said this before. I meant to say this." I can always do everything else, but I knew that I have to get out there first. Once I get out there, then I can only get better from that process. And I want you to know that when we're doing these calls, when we're doing the calls, when we're putting people on that platform of hope, and as I always say, hope is the only thing that's stronger than fear. And fear is the most difficult thing to overcome, because we've been hardwired to remember fear best. And we're giving people that platform. Right? Matter of fact, let me see something here. Let me see something to Coach AB. Let me see something here. You guys think it's a game out here, man. You guys don't know. We've been doing this for a long time, right? I was sending something. Let me see something. I tend to find things, right, and send it to myself. Let me see this right here, right? Let me see this right here. Remember she's this one profit sharing check. See that? She said 3 years ago. She said 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Coach AB was spitting them bars. Three years ago, she was yesterday. Extra residue. See, we ain't new to this. We've been developing leaders for a long time. Listen at you, Coach AB. I saw Coach AB was on YouTube, and I'm like, Coach AB was spitting bars. Let me send that to you, girl. All right. And then the reason why I say that, guys, because listen, years later, she's an entrepreneur. She's grown. She's become more. She started her own clothing line. Listen, years ago, she was trying to figure things out. And that's under being a part of mentorship, being a mentee, going from being a mentee to being a mentor. It always starts off with a person just saying, you know what am I going to do? Not when the camera's on, not when everybody's looking. What am I going to do when nobody's looking? What am I going to do when nobody's watching? That's why when I'm telling you about reflection, I want you to understand that reflection is really important. And mentorship begins with self-reflection. You can't pour into other people when your cup is empty. and you're unclear of you have an unclear cup and your cup is empty and you want to just everybody say they want to be a leader. They say they want to pour. They say I got a story to what happens after you say your story. We want the world to know the things about us, but after that, what else? What else? Because people want to know, okay, I see that we got similar stories. How did you get out of your situation? What have you done once you was in that process? Because many people are going through it and they're trying to figure it out. And as they're trying to figure it out, our job is to make sure that when we spend time with people, we don't wait until you always, in the very beginning, you could say, let me lead you to someone else. Let me lead you to my mentor, but you're leading them to the mentor while you yourself are becoming your mentee so that you can become a mentor. But you have to be willing to do the work. And every great leader, every great mentor must take the time to examine their thoughts, their emotions, their actions. And I want you to have like reflective questions. Like when you're talking, like what energy do you bring to the conversation? Am I guiding people? Am I talking to people? Am I guiding people from my pain or from like healed wisdom? Ask yourself that question. Are you wanting to tell your story because you just want to just guide people from the pain? Or you have a healed wisdom? Excuse me. Me, myself, I feel when I'm training and I'm working, I'm teaching people, I'm teaching from like a healed wisdom. And I say that because sometimes I got friends of mine that, and for years, as long as I've known them, they will always say, I'm working on me. And then again, we always work on ourselves, but they'll always say they working on I'm like, what are you doing? I'm working on me. Working on yourself, but still not having a chance to grow past working on what's your end goal? Is it just to say it? Just to stay in, just to say because it sounds like something? Or are you working on yourself to better yourself so that you can bring something of value to the world, something of value to your family, something more? And I get it that this thing that they're fighting for, this whole process and everything we're fighting for, sometimes it can become so overwhelming when you're thinking about your bills and your life and situations. Then you uplift yourself from this moment, uplifting yourself to 100 years from now when you won't be here anymore. But who knows, with technology and all the stuff that's happening now, who knows, another 67 years, they could actually prolong life. So let's say 200 years. So 200 years from now, what's going to be said about you, if anything? And we're working so hard today for what we say what we want as a legacy and what we want to leave to our children. But are you really looking to build something that you can leave to your children's children? Because they say a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And are you really looking to really leave something to your children's children? The reason why I say that, because people say it, but given an opportunity to press through, because inheritance is not just what you leave to them, but what you leave in them. And if you're going forward and then you stop, then you keep shifting directions every 20 days, every 30 days, every 45 days, you're doing something new. Every time you turn, you're trying something, you're doing, and you haven't ever even completed a task. And trust me, I get it. I know how you can start a task, and sometimes once you get started, you're like, you know what, it's not for me. But is it really not for you, or is it just that the energy, the hype energy from the very beginning of starting something feels good? Then after the hype energy goes away, that's when I always say you got to learn to master the mundane, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out. You know what I'm saying? The whole energy, everything you're putting out, you got to learn to master that mundane energy that's going to predicate the end results of a whole lot of success. And that means from after the hype, then it gets to doing the same old, same old. It's everything new in the very beginning. Oh my God, it's new. Oh my God, we doing it. You turn everything. Then after that, you got to repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Now you got to, and after a while, you wash, rinse, man, I got to repeat this thing again. I got to wash it again. I got to rinse it again. I got to do it again. I got to do it again. You know what? I'm going to find something else to do. I'm going to find something new. And now you got something new you're promoting and something new that you're doing. And I'm talking about like every 30 days. I get that sometimes you could do something for a year and 2 years. I've done it. A year, 2 years, I built things up and then sold things. I built things up and then said, okay, this is no longer for myself. I built things up with a partner, knowing that I was going to build with a partner, then leave after the partner was able to continue on with the process. All these things I had in my mind, and other things I would build continuously for myself. I've been continually speaking and coaching and doing stuff for years for my, you know what I'm saying? For myself, that I can still empower thousands of people. I've been continuing doing something in this home-based business space on top of other things for decades. Some people haven't even survived this for 30 days, haven't survived this for 2 weeks, 2 months, haven't survived this for 6 months. I've been doing this, haven't worked for about for 30 years. I've been doing this for years in this process. But a part of that process is knowing that my mirror principle has to be self-reflection. What energy am I bringing to each conversation? Am I guiding from my energy of pain? Am I guiding from my energy of healed wisdom? Am I going to keep on saying that I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing, but I'm never healed? People always say, "What's going on?" Well, you got to heal. I see it on social media all the time. Somebody's in the comment section. Oh, I see you. You gotta go heal. You go get healed. What does it even mean to somebody? What does it mean? Could we say healing, but when does that really happen? At what point is it a heal? Are you healed? Now I say that, guys, because you're in your self-reflection, like you're sitting back and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm healed. Now let me go forth and be fruitful. Let me go forth and multiply. I'm healed. Or you're going to keep ripping the scab back off and saying, I'm not healed yet. Why haven't you done it yet? Well, I'm not healed yet. Why haven't you stepped into your entrepreneur? Why haven't you done it on your own? Well, I'm not healed yet. I still can't do it yet because I'm not healed yet. No, there has to be a point of self-reflection, because mentorship begins with self-reflection. And I want you to ask yourself that. Matter of fact, after we finish this call, I want you to journal and have, like, matter of fact, you will get with yourself in your group and just journal and have your group of people that you work with. Just have them write about their recent emotional reactions to some things that's been revealed to them about, like, their leadership style. Write some emotional something, like when something has happened to you, what type of leadership style have you contributed to that emotional situation? Something happened and you just panic and you stop. Something happened and you lost yourself. Something happened and you did critical thinking and you worked yourself. I've been coaching with some of you guys. I know many of you guys was going through it. And as you was going through it, I'm like, calm down, calm your energy for a moment. Let's look at it another way. What if you looked at it this way? What if this would happen? What if this right here? And we was able to give different scenarios where they were able to overcome their self-imposed limitations and go on to be fruitful and multiply and have results in their personal life. And so they can put things in place so they can keep moving forward, even when they were at the brink of just giving up. That happened to multiple people, because it happened to me many times as well. But multiple people that I've talked to individually, that many of you guys, but ask yourself, what type of emotional reaction what type of leadership style were you having? Because I want you to have self-reflection in that right there, and ask yourself how if you had to mentor somebody else through the process, what have you learned so that you can actually teach from healed wisdom, that you've been able to go through it and teach. That means when you learn these things, you won't be afraid to have conversations with people. You won't be afraid to lead people. Won't be afraid to show people that you can have a conversation and then give them a solution. Because what we have when you're an entrepreneur, if you have a program that you're selling, or network marketing business that you're in, or something that you're doing that you can lead them on, you have something on the back end that may can help them. But what you're going to do right now while they're in front of you right now, when it comes to number two, your emotional state, you have to have an awareness of your emotional state. It's really important that you have an awareness of your emotional state and that you're leading with emotional intelligence. And I want you to pay attention to how your emotional state directly affects your ability to mentor people effectively. Your emotional state, because in order to to mentor somebody through a thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to truly have a level of empathy to understand them, but you have to understand yourself. A lot of times we always say we want to help women, I want to help men, I want to help people, I want to help this, but as soon as something happens, you shut down. Oh, I don't got no time for this right here. How can you coach people? How can you lead people when your own emotional state, when you don't have no awareness of your emotional state? Yeah, it sounds good. Well, I'm the type of person. Well, let me tell you how I am. Let me tell you the type of person I am. But you also said you're the type of person who loves helping people. It's like somebody saying they're a caregiver, but you don't care about the people. I saw a video of a young lady. She was like literally crying. She was like, I work at this group home or this nursing home. And she said, some of you guys may have seen the video. I don't know. She said, I work at this nursing home, and I dropped off food that night. I came back the next day, and I'm asking the gentleman, I'm like, why haven't you eaten? And he was a person, he couldn't feed himself. And he was like, nobody fed me. Can you feed me? And he was like, can you please feed me? And the girl was like crying. She's like, how can you say that you work in healthcare and you don't care about people? How can you say that you're a caregiver and you don't care about the people? How can you say this is who you are and you're not even looking to bring value? You say you want to bring value to people, but you're not letting yourself be valuable. You have to have an emotional awareness like she had, leading from emotional intelligence. She said, listen, I know that I was gonna get the girl in trouble. I had to report her. She said, I know somebody may say, how could you do that? I'm like, how could you? I had to say something. Because the gentleman like, yo, please, can you feel me? Like, listen, all I do is drop off the food and pick it up. I'm not allowed to do that. I can't even do it. And she's like, how can you guys even be here? And she's like literally crying and losing it. Because she's like, how can you be in this space that you say this what you do and you're not doing it? See, your reflection for yourself helps you to respond instead of react yourself. I want you to pay attention to how you respond, how you identify your emotional triggers and your stress responses, and all the patterns and all the things that shape how you communicate. All these things are important. That when you sit back and go, this is my emotional dashboard. And you see all these different things. And red over here means I'm triggered. And yellow right here means I'm processing. And green over here means I'm centered. You have all these different things, these buttons. And you have to learn to check yourself. When something goes on in your life, like, bam, you trigger, I can't believe, how did that done? Or you like, okay. If Mr. Scott he's given me the ability to be on the same platform. He says we're equals on the platform of leadership. He's given me the ability to be able to start to speak on a platform, knowing, because it has to be a thought process of doing it, knowing that it's for me to get better so that I can keep doing it, so I can keep growing. I use that as a launch pattern, a launch mode. I'm doing a call, then I can schedule somebody to say, listen, meet me on my own Zoom. I did a call on Sunday. I can tell somebody, meet me on a call on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I can literally meet my own person myself because I did it on this day. So for me to get better, let me keep doing it. Because once you learn to do a thing, once you do a thing the first time, and it's the first time you do it, there's new neurons, new neural pathways that's connected. And then the only thing that strengthens the neural pathways that get stronger till that becomes, first they kind of growing, they kind of really loose. The neural pathways, when you learn a new thing, this is real science, right? The neural pathways start to come together in this form. Then after that, once they come together, every time you have these little electrical impulses, these thoughts, and you keep doing things, it's firing in between those things and stuff. And then as it keeps firing, and the signals are going back and forth. And then after a while, the more you do it, the stronger you do it. After a while, you do it, and it becomes a habit. It becomes unbreakable. It becomes something without you thinking. You can perform it. But if you do a call or you exercise, if I say these are the steps that you do something, these are the steps that you launch a person, and I literally give you the steps, but you don't follow the steps. I'm telling you, I give you the steps to follow the steps because I know the steps work. I know that it can help people. I know that if people follow the steps, I know great things can happen for people. But you have to say, once you do it, you have to do it with the intention that you know that you're going to grow yourself, that you know you're going to get better, that you know you're going to keep moving. See, let me show you guys this right here, right? Let me see something. Let me see if this. Let me see. Let me see if I can see. I'm showing you guys because I've been just not talking to you guys just here. I've been doing this stuff for. I've been doing. Can you see this right here? I've been doing this for like life. I've been doing this for real. I've been like talking to people for real, standing up in front of the rooms and having conversations with people for real, foul from the stage for real. I'm a person that when I've been doing this stuff, I've been like literally building teams and organizations and people for real. I've been about and doing this for real, connecting with people in all platforms and nationalities and speaking in the room. You know what I'm saying? And doing all the things that I'm doing for real. See, look, I'm doing stuff for real. So when I'm telling you guys that these strategies, these techniques, these things that I've been coaching you guys on for real, I'm like literally for real meeting people. I'm for real in the rooms. I'm for real talking. I'm doing this stuff because I've been building organizations and helping people succeed for a long time. So when I'm giving you guys these strategies, when I'm giving you guys the techniques, when I'm helping you to become a better version of yourself, when I make sure that I'm giving you the very best of myself, so that's the mentor side of me. But I'm teaching you how to give the very best of yourself. My job not to become nobody's boss. My job as your partner, as your even from this call, as your mentor on this call, is to give you strategies and techniques and ways that you can learn to elevate yourself, elevate your awareness of where you are. Learn additional tools so that you yourself can control your emotional state. Because you have to learn to lead with emotional intelligence and stop letting fear, stop letting certain things trigger your fear. So everything, well, you hit the red button. I don't know if I can do it. Yeah, I don't know because I'm just what if I met? Stop. Just hit the yellow button and process. Hit the green button and be centered. And once you're centered, you can process and go, I did it before, I can do it again. I did it before, now I know how to do it. Let me do it again. Not I can do it again. Let me do it again. Because number 3 is presence, over performance. I know we talking about how we got to perform things, but you have to have a level of presence. And mentorship isn't about having the right answers. It's about being present. Like right now, I'm just present in the moment with you. Not thinking about all other things and everything else is happening. I was out all day doing other stuff and came in to make sure I was present for this call right now, for this moment. Everything else happening. My son coming to, he's like, I know you about to do your call. I'm like, yep. Let me get ahead so I can be present. Because I understand it's not about having the right answers, but it's about being present. And I want you to reflect as you're reflecting on what presence feels like. What presence feels like for you? Is it calm? Is it focused? Is it listening deeply? And sometimes like when I listen, sometimes I have to like look down while I'm listening so I can focus in. Because sometimes you may look directly, you may be looking at, like you ever seen, like sometimes you look at somebody, but while you're looking at them, they're looking at you and they're talking, but your mind is in a bunch of places. You're listening, but you're thinking. Sometimes you can be thinking, looking at their eyes, oh, I never realized they have their eyes so blue. They literally they literally telling you something of deep importance, and you like this. But your brain is like, they got the blew his damn eyes? And you like left the damn conversation for a second while they talking. You like this. They talk you like this. I see hints of green. You know, they literally giving you. They telling you what's going on. You like. They got a bluish greenish tint. I wonder if they get that from their grandmama. And they like telling you stuff. And your mind is left. So a lot of times I'm like this. Right. Because I have to. I've learned that I have to listen intently. Now I do have times where I'll be like, I look at somebody so they can see that I'm present with them. But I also recognize that if you stay too long, your brain just naturally starts thinking about something else. You start looking, you be like this. You be like, I never noticed they had the bulb at the end of their nose like that. I never noticed that they. You start thinking all type of stuff, right? They talking, and you start going. You are right. Then all of a sudden you start squinting a little bit because you realize they've been shaving a little bit the hair they had in between. You be like, I wonder if they shave those, right? You like your brain be so I'm like telling you, make sure that when you're in this space that you're working and you're developing and you're listening, how are you listening deeply? Just focus in on how you're listening deeply. And really pay attention to what somebody. I always say there's 4 levels of listening: listening to, listening at, listening with, and listening for. F-O-R. And listening for is the highest level of listening. So then again, we're talking about being present when you're talking with people. And if any of you guys have ever had conversation with me, a lot of times, I'll be present with you in the moment. You'll say some things. I'll be talking to you. I'm asking questions. I'm there with you in the moment, because then I'll be even talk about the things you told to me a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3, and I didn't know you remember that, because I'm like, yeah, because I was listening intently. I was listening deeply, because if it's affecting you, I want to hear it. As a coach, I'm asking the right questions to help you make additional alternate paths of ways of how we can, because again, a mentor, I'm going to give you from healed wisdom. I'm going to say to you the things that I've been through. But as a coach, I'm going to ask you questions first. Sometimes I'll tell my stories so people can understand I know where you are. But then I ask you questions because you already have the answer inside of you as well. And your people have the answers inside of them. So when you start thinking that you got to perform a certain way, what if I do a presentation? What if I, no, if you're asking the right questions and you having a conversation with them and they telling you what they want out of your life, and on the back end, I already got a solution. Because some people just need this. They need to be in the right environment. All the other stuff is going to come out. Learning little things, guys, to be present, like grounding is something, breathing, mindful listening, all these things, guys, you have to learn to maintain a presence, even when things are tense. So sometimes, even if you don't have people that you can spend time with personally, you can, if you got people in your home, ask questions of your grandson or your in a way that you never did before. Not just so how's school, and you just kind of listen but not listening. Ask and go deep into conversation with your spouse or somebody else, or maybe even on a Zoom call, you and someone else that's on this call right now. You guys can meet and just have a conversation and practice and pair up and practice and having people in your group. This stuff is important. You guys think it's not important? It is. Learning these strategies and techniques for you to become better. All this other stuff that we do for business, that's the technical stuff. That's the most, you can read those things. The other part is this right here. But I want you to learn how to just get with people, let them talk, practice silent listening for 2 minutes, no interruptions, no advice, just presence. Sometimes people talking, they'll be like, are you listening? Are you there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Sometimes you think that somebody's saying something for you to give advice. And they'll actually, sometimes I'll go, oh, you don't care? Of course I do. But are you saying to me because you want me to give some advice? Because I feel like sometimes some people just want to talk and want to be heard. And I want you to know I hear you. They go, then they'll continue talking. They don't even want no advice. They just want to just continue talking. But you have to understand that you have to have presence over performance. Your performance is going to be there, but learn to be fully there. And again, we're talking about, when I was saying in the very beginning, when I talk about month 2, is teaching people how to have an awareness, how to be present, how to focus in on these things, because this stuff is important when you're learning to have a reflection. And I'll say reflection of the way life used to be. And then, of course, from where it used to be, you can start to envision where it's going, envision how you want things to be, envision other things that you see. But to get to those things, you have to understand the things that was shaking you, that was taking you off, that was triggering you. Your emotional state is basically learning to control the moment. And let me, matter of fact, in the comment section, if you had conversation with me, and we have had, and you can recognize anything I've been talking to you so far, and you know that I have given you, you can realize in this conversation some things, strategies, techniques, or even just how we engage. Do you recognize any of the things that I'm talking to you about? Just from our own you can just say, if it is, just put an 8, a yes, fire, something in the chat. If it is, if you haven't, no big deal. But if you ever had those conversations, and now you understand, is because that it's not always about having the right answer, just being present with the person, being able to help the person by just listening. If you ever had any results, just have that mentorship, that those one-on-one sessions, just, and if it was meaningful to you, just yes, say yes, just put it in there. And if not, hit me up so we can have some conversations, because these things are important. Number 4 is reflective listening. The art of hearing what's not said. See, a lot of times when I'm like, for instance, I was talking to one of my daughters today, right? She called me, or we leave a voice note, and she asked a question. And in my voice note, she's in California. In my voice note, I'm responding back. I'm saying some things, but then at the end of the conversation, I said something based on a question. I said something at the very end. She was like, "Oh, oh my God, Dad, oh my God, that's why I love talking to you. Oh my God, you are so amazing. You just the way you. How did you know? How did you know without me saying? How did you know? How could you even know that that's the route?" Because in my mindset, I'm like, there's the art of hearing what's not said. She didn't have to say all these things, but I'm hearing it based off of. And when you actually starting to talk to people and you having reflective listening, because I was able to hear what was not said, but also when she's talking from the past, things we talked about before, I understand that mentors should learn to reflect back what they hear. So when I hear a thing, I respond back to a way to make them go, "Oh my God, you really hear me. You really understand." I'm validating both facts and feelings. So when you're working with your people and you're working to help people, you want to be able to mentor somebody in business, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, you got to learn to reflect back what you hear. That's what I said. Listen to them, ask questions. So when you're saying stuff, you're like, and you validate both facts and feelings. So what I'm hearing that you say is, or it sounds like to me that you're feeling. And those things open up an emotional space, which is why I always say I like to focus on A, B, C, D, E. The way you at in your life right now. Yeah, man, things are rough. Things are hard. I'm saying, okay, I keep asking more questions about where they at. So how long you been doing that? So how does it make you feel? Okay, what you doing prior to that? All the things I like to ask, because I'm looking to get them into an emotional space to where they feel they can trust me. Then they really start letting me know what's going on, where they at in their life. Because some people, they'll be like, "Oh, things are good." You ask them like, "How's things going?" Good. But then when you really be like, "No, really, talk to me. What's going on?" They be like, "I mean, things are good. No, talk to me. Tell me what's really going on." There you go. People be holding on to stuff on the inside, and you can be like, literally just talking. "Look, what's going on?" They be like, "Well, everything is good because life is blah blah." You be like, right. So let me ask you, and keep going deeper before you know they like eyes starting to batten before you know tears start to come, because you are in a space to where you're literally having an emotional connection. And I want you to be in a space, guys, that when you're having reflective listening, because after today's call, I need you guys scheduling appointments and one-on-ones with people. Don't wait until a call at 8 o'clock to get somebody enrolled into business. Have some conversations with people because you want to build some relationships with people. And then you can have one-on-ones and tell them, meet me on Zoom. No, not me doing it for you, somebody else, another leader doing it. Do it for yourself because this won't go to another level of business. And again, the reason why I'm having people doing these calls because I'm looking to develop leaders. I want people to, once you do it, keep on doing it. Keep doing it until it becomes so, you got this neural pathway that becomes memory and it becomes habit. Don't do it and then break it. Because if you don't do it, it dissolves away and it goes back to nothing again. Do it knowing that there's a plan and we have a plan together. And the last thing I want you to focus in on as we end this call, I want you to reflect, but adjust your growth in that process. That means you reflect. Don't just go, but when you see that you have areas to grow in on the thing, well, okay, for instance, I keep going back to this because we're working on two things, working on the person, emotional, your mindset, how you think, and also your skill set. So reflection is not just passive. So it's not just a passive thing that you're reflecting on. I want you to adjust and grow. When I say reflect, I want it to be an adjustment. Okay, I hear you, Mr. Scott. This week, I'm gonna call somebody and say, meet me tomorrow at 3. Meet me tomorrow at 4. What you doing tomorrow? Let's meet online and have some coffee and have conversation. And meet somebody on your own without waiting for somebody because this thing will not grow for you. You won't become this next version of yourself until you do it for yourself and do it on your own. I need you to journal these things down and debrief. And you can debrief with me after you do a call. Hit me up and let's have a conversation about your call. After you had a one-on-one, hit me up and I don't want to just, yes, I can do a bunch of two-on-ones, but if I'm only doing it for you, I will only have a job. My job is to develop leaders and to have entrepreneurs. That's why when you see other organizations and people are doing training calls and conference calls, and that's because somebody started off doing no calls. Then they did one call. Then they started doing more calls. And then other people started watching them and started hearing them and believing them. And then they wanted to be a part of them. And I want you to do the same thing. Once you reflect on the things you talk about today, on how you communicate with people and how you're communicating with yourself, I want you to ask yourself, what went well? Where did I feel resistance? Why did I feel resistance? If Mr. Scott said, do this right, where did I feel? Listen, I literally tell people, listen, I said, if you guys log on and nobody's hosting the call, because I purposely have not, I normally will have the same host as hosting. I'm literally looking to have leaders just step out. You know why? Because you got to ask yourself, where and why do I feel resistance? This has to be a part of adjustment and growth because trust me, listen, I'm like everybody else. Well, let me say this first. The next thing is, what can I do differently next time? Let me say that first. Like, what went well? Where, like, where did I feel resistance? Why did I feel resistance? And what can I do differently next time? Because in these master cycles that I'm putting you through, it has to be a level of growth. Now, this is the deal. As you guys know, when I'm working with people and they pay me for my time, whether it's $1,000 a month or $3,000 a month, and I'm working with them an hour, I'm looking for them to have results in their life and whatever else they got going on in life and business. Right now, what they choose to do is completely up to them. I can't make nobody do it. They have to do these things. Why is it fuzzy right here? They have to do these things. They have to do these things on their own, and they have to step in. But as entrepreneurs, we're working together as an entrepreneur and as a group. You guys respond differently because there's no strong monetary value that you put out on a monthly basis that goes directly to myself that you feel it's a session. But you have to feel that this is a session for you. I was talking to somebody the other day and I was talking about how sometimes you could pay for somebody to join the business, and you hope that they'll go get busy, but because they had no value into it, they stop and they quit 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Or they may have invested themselves, but they only bought one bottle of something, a few things right here. And because they only have a little investment, they have not gone hard with this process. Some people can still invest 1,000 and still quit, because when they invested, if there's no emotional and no attachment to what I got to get this back. I'm going to work to learn this right here. It's just what it is, and how people are, how they can be in this space. So I'm saying something like, yeah, you can put somebody into the business, and I get it. And you can put them in, and you can hope and pray that they're going to get busy. They're going to do it. I said, but me, I said, you just never know. I said, because for me, I remember when I joined this network marketing company in 2015, I was at the end of staying in another company till everything went backwards, upside down, and somebody had to put me in, and they invested for me to get started in the business. And when they invested in me, I worked my ass off like I invested that money myself. I worked like I invested $100,000. I did it like I did it like I had no choice. Not, well, somebody put me in, it don't really matter to me. No, it mattered that somebody invested time and energy and resources for me. They didn't do like a big pack. They did big packages for other people. They just did a few just to put me in. A few. It wasn't even a big product pack thing. They didn't even send me a bunch of products. He's just like, here, here's a website, you got it. I was like, let me get busy. Because for me, it was like I invested $100,000, and it only went back to the fact that I've invested over the years tens of thousands of dollars, man, just trying things, and not even having a mentor or a coach, just trying things, hopeful for a thing. I spent $100,000. I promise you, because I've had so much money come through, and that 50,000 for this and 20,000 for this, and going to a $20,000 event for this over here, that I invested 20,000 damn dollars in an event. And people can get information for free. And in their mindset, there's no value to it. So the results that I get in my life that I always know that's going to come, sometimes it may take a while. It may take longer than usual, but it's going to hold. And the great thing is, there's proof in the world that things can happen. There's proof in the world that things can happen fast. Boom, kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? And things can happen real fast. But there's also proof in the world, Rebecca, that you can water a thing. You can water a thing. You can water a thing, and it can take months or even years for that thing to actually grow and sprout out. And I think they were saying like that's like with the bamboo, right? You can water, and nothing happens. You see nothing, and you keep on watering. People are like, "What the hell are you watering? What the hell are you going there watering it for? What they watering over there?" All of a sudden, at years later, it sprouts out. Then, whew, it takes off. The question is, are you that? Are you that person that as soon as you do something, it just happens, and it happened before in the past, and great things happen for you quickly, and now for some reason in your mindset, it won't happen again? I'm telling you, yes, it can happen again. If it has never happened before, it will happen. But you have to have a determination. You have to have a reflection. Do I stop everything I get started? Do I keep quitting? Do I keep changing the damn direction every 10, 15 days? Every time something come up, I'm like, this. First you say, this got to be a blessing from God, that God gave this to me. The universe must want me to have this because it showed up at the right time. Then 30 days later, it must not be meant for me because this will happen. No, it is for you. Things that show up, that happen, is not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's a part of the exercise of life, of growth, of all the things, of all the tension, everything about, even in the house you're in right now, there's a resistance. There's a resistance from the roof, from what's happening above, that's happening, there's a resistance. When you have these, sometimes you look at the infrastructure of a building, and the way it's built, you be like, how in the hell is it holding up? But there's a tension that happens the way the roof in parallel to the beams, and parallel to how the things are shaped. And the more pressure, the more tension that's pushing down makes it even stronger. And for you, a lot of the things that's coming down that you think is pressure, but it's literally the roof that's building. That it seems like it's tension and pressure, but everything needs tension. Everything, muscles need tension in order to tear down and build back up. It needs it. And with that's muscle growth is muscle tearing down from tension and muscles building back up. That's where muscle comes from. When you're working out, you're tearing muscle, and then muscle is growing back over it. And as muscle grows back over it, you get bulkier, you get stronger. That's where strength comes from. And you guys have that strength. And today has to be a reflection of the strength that you have. As I started the call, as I said, it has to be a reflection of the way life used to be. It has to be a reflection of. And I need you guys to go back and reflection of the way life used to be and the way life should be and the way life will be. But you have to go back to the things that have got you to where you are, has created some situations, challenges that the way you've been thinking, it won't solve. So you have to be willing to go back, reflect. And each component that we talk about, go deeper on it on your own. Google it. Watch other videos. Just go. There's so much content in the world, man. It could be so much more that you can become on your own. Just go do it. I love each and every one of you guys. I promise you I do, because my mother taught me to. So I want to make sure that as we end tonight's Vision Mastery Call, guys, if you have not connected to me, please reach out to me, connect with me. Let's have some one-on-one sessions. Let me get the calendar out and schedule some things with you this week. I want to have some conversations. I want to have some people that I can work with. I want to have some leaders that I can build with. Let me take a picture so I can see, so I can make sure that I lock it in myself. So like, you can't say, I don't know what you're talking about. You was there. I see your behind right now. I just took a picture. I see you. I see you. So we got to talk. And if you don't call me, I'm going to call you. All right. So we can have a conversation and put some things on the books. Anyway, as I end the call, to have any leader who have any comments, statements, anything they want to be able to share about tonight's Vision Mastery Call. And don't wait to see who else unmute their mics.
Good evening.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead, Coach AB.
Hey,
baby girl.
Thank you, Glow Coach. Thank you for the opportunity just to share, Mr. Scott. Tonight's call was amazing, beyond really introspective, if you will, because a lot of times we don't take a minute to pause to really think about where we are mentally when we're going through this process, because we want to see it accelerated the way we see everybody else moving. And we've got to move in our own grace and our own timing, because something I'm a firm believer in is if we move too fast, we're going to move prematurely and abort the thing that we are birthing, because each and every one of us has a dream, has a goal, has a purpose. But if we move ahead of the process, then we're going to miss whatever it is that God or whomever you believe in has for you. And then we find ourselves going backwards, starting at point A again. So I really appreciate, the steps you shared, especially when I was laughing about that listening, because I ain't gonna lie. When I have them parent teacher conferences, I be like, Lord Jesus. I I go off on a spaceship because I have about 25 3 times a year. And after a while, you be like, I have no more questions where they get it from. So yes, sir, we all take those little fantastic voyages. But thank you for the nuggets tonight. I pass it back over to you, sir.
Yes, young lady. Well, I appreciate you for sharing. And one of the key things you said, like I said, like for myself, there's a lot of things that's happening on social media, but I don't watch people. I really don't. No matter what people are doing, I mean, I'm happy for people. A lot of times I mute people out. Not that I don't block them or nothing like that. I mute them because I don't want to see, because I got plans on things that I'm doing. And I know that we are in a space to where we have an opportunity to create a whole nother level of peace. Let me see. I wrote something down the other day that I liked it, and I don't remember where the heck I wrote it at. But we're in a space right now, guys, that we building them from a place of peace. We don't have to worry about what's happening outside someplace else. A lot of that stuff is trickery. I say that because if a person's a network marketing company, that's network marketing too. And they got to call people too. They got to talk to people too. They got to recruit people too. After the people that they talk to that's watching them, and then you watching me, come on over here. Who they recruiting in the first 6 months, maybe about say first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, or you. Those who be like this, oh my God, instead of you working on your own business, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about the other people who joined them that was like you, who was watching them. And they over here like, yeah, we over here living over here, y'all. We living, but they're not recruiting nobody new. They're just recruiting you. You who've been watching, you who they know, you who's been with them in another space. So when you get over here, that's network marketing too. After that, we have to go find new people. They got to go find new people. But them, they start from you and all the people like you. Then they can go get new people. But while you're there, you're not really growing, but you're still there and you in the space. So it makes it look like they are doing great things, but it's just you. You've been trained by a bunch of other people. So you and the people like you are now over here. And now, even if they don't get nobody else, they still got you. But you still got to go find some people. And they don't find new people because they got you who've been watching. And I want to be a part of that over here because I see everybody's winning. Then when you get over here, you want to try to get the people who you've been knowing that was over here. Hey, come over here. We over here. Come on. And you want to grab some other people and you want to get them over here. Then after that, they come there and all y'all still was over here. Now you're over here and nobody's still getting new people and y'all all still going, yeah, look at us. We over at these events. We doing this right here, but you still ain't doing nothing other than just talking and looking good. It's all the same thing. So you have a chance to be in a peaceful place with some amazing products. And you in a place of peace, have to worry about nobody else. I like a peaceful build. I told John LeCarre, I said in the way, I was like, I like the quiet. It don't mean I don't want the world to know what I got going on. I just don't have, I'm not bothered by a bunch of nothing that nobody else is doing. Go over there. If that's what got you, please go, because leave the open space for other people who don't know none of that stuff. New people who come over here, they'll come and they will build the same way. There's been people who made $50 million in this company, 51 rep making $50 million with the same product, same compensation plan, and the compensation plan has even been enhanced. A person who did $50 million, and it wasn't that the company went away a bunch of no, the energy, the space, and the recognition, all the certain things shifted in the energy space that made them say, you know what, let me go do something else. But once they shifted out, the new energy or the energy that shifted in, you have to recognize the same opportunity is for you. I don't worry about what nobody else is doing because that's network marketing too. Just hold on to what you got and just build in this space. New people don't know what they don't know. They don't know nothing except what you create. And if you half in, half out, I always tell people just go. I'd rather for you just to go and make space for somebody else to sit in that space. So let them go so they can make space for somebody new to come in they're not looking to left and right. They're going to be looking straight ahead and they're going to build with you in a big way. Anybody else got any last minute comments, statements, anything you want to share before we're done?
Yeah. Good night. Thanks,
Hey, young
Coach.
lady.
Hi, great evening. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Coach Jason. Yeah, I just want to say that in terms of reflection, I know we've been here for a minute. And in terms of reflection, it's like when you say, okay, just do it. Sometimes maybe you might be feeling like, oh, you're teeter-tottering. Do it, don't do it. You have a lot of thoughts in your head. But for me, with my experience, I find that when you just jump in and do it, it gets easier. So doing the presentation, okay, so that's one thing. Then, as Coach Jason was saying, reach out to people that you meet, just do one-on-ones. It could be just on the phone talking. It should be a Zoom. It could be on WhatsApp doing your products. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So just like Coach Jason was saying, do the reflection. I'm going to continue to do it as well. But to get out of your head and just jump in, it gets easier.
Yes, ma'am. It definitely does. And that's what I said. It gets easier because the neural pathways are strengthening and it becomes a habit. And I'm saying, and you want the habit to be of the right activity. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You feel better at it. It becomes second nature. And I want it to become second nature. I was talking to a lady about that. I said, reach out to put them on a platform this week. See who else can be on a platform. Because I want other people to have an opportunity to be the boss, to be the leader, so they can strengthen the neural pathways, so they can get stronger at presenting. I already know what's going to happen in the next 3 months, 6 months. I already know. But it happens because people are. Listen, I'm just like you guys. I'm not nobody more special. I'm a rep like you in the network marketing space. I'm a leader like you in my household, like you're leading your household. I'm a family member amongst family members and friends like you guys are. But I also know that I bring a healed wisdom to the value that I have. And if you guys have the same, you have gone through challenges and controversy and you've been able to be triumphant, you have a healed wisdom yourself. But you have to be willing to just go out here and push through in order for you guys to get to this next level and have this breakthrough. Anybody else have a last minute comments, anything they want to share before we're done? All right, guys, I appreciate you guys for logging on to our Sunday night Vision Mastery Call. You guys have been an amazing group. As always, remember, given the sum total of all your decisions, you cannot change who you are, but give new life, new vision, new unity. You can change who you become. So I love each and every one of you guys. And let's say today, not tomorrow, but like right now, let's all just become. You guys have an amazing new you. I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.